Hi, it's Zobo975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. Evident Knight challenged me to a 1v1 in mediums, and boy did I get lucky picking which ship to bring over. Most of my combat ships are along a design theme of very heavy, which makes them not very manoeuvrable and quite slow. I've only got 2 ships with chaff, and I've only got 1 ship with double chaff, and that's this one. This is 3 multi-cannons, 2 Imperial hammers, double chaff, 3 D-rated shield boosters, and a size 4 prismatic. It's a lightweight, quite fast FDL, the shield bank being the 5 slot, and the idea is to basically, you get more shields back, so that compensates for the fact your shields are actually reasonably weak. Also, because I'm usually firing only 3 multi-cannons, I can do this quite often, which, it runs for quite a while on just very little pip management needed, which kind of suits me down to the ground. I'm not the best, and I must say I am very rusty. There was a couple of times in this fight that I was like, damn, I feel rusty. The only time I'll do the railgun shots is when I'm feeling confident and have the distro power in there to do it. The constant spamming chaff is what saves me in this one, because Evident Knight's got a very strong 5 multi-cannon build there, reasonably strong shields. I don't think he's got any banks. I think he's got a one and done shield, but yeah, it's a tough FDL. It's a well built ship. He knows what he's doing with it. He keeps the pointy end pointing at you and keeps pulling the trigger. That's what you want to be doing. Me, on the other hand, I missed a ton of railgun shots. I get lucky by the fact I just brought a ship with double chaff against someone using gimbaled multi-cannons. That's it, really. Even though the fight doesn't seem that close, it actually is a lot closer than you think, because this thing underneath its paper thin shields is wafer thin, whereas his ship underneath his shields is all armor. But yeah, this was a fun FDL to build. It's a totally different design prospect to the rest of my ships. So lightweight, fast, and like I say, 2 Imperial hammer railguns, a emissive multi-cannon, a corrosive multi-cannon, and the huge overcharged multi-cannon underneath. All kinetic damage, oddly enough. I do find people worry too much about this thermal kinetic thing. If you're putting damage out, you're putting damage out. With the amount people can modify their shields these days, quite often most people have thermal resistant shields, and putting out kinetic damage is going to do about the same as putting out thermal. But I know Evident Knight's got this ship's quite tough against thermal, because I think he built it with my beam de lance in mind, or maybe my ramber, but it would do a lot better against my more heavily armoured, less manoeuvrable ships than this one, and my more power hungry ships, where I'm less able to camp 4 pips to shields or 3 pips to shields on a regular. Because being able to camp pips to shields is a huge thing in a 1v1, especially when you're fighting something like this. But I gotta say, I should have definitely avoided rams. That was probably not a good idea. At this point there's a bit coming up where I'm trying to actually railgun him, and I end up banking again because I forgot I'd switched fire groups to the banks. But it didn't matter because I needed to bank anyway, so it wasn't too bad. In fact, to be honest, the fight went pretty well for me. This ram, while not ideal for me, I had 4 pips of shields at the time and he had no shields, so majorly more damaging for him than me. Here's me missing more railgun shots really badly, but I didn't flight assist off this fight, and I normally do in this ship because because railguns are way easier to use flight assist off. But I was feeling particularly rusty. If anyone wants 1v1s, they can always hit me up. In this case, it was agreed to 20% because I had merits on board that I was holding, and so I didn't want to die. Because quite often I do power play. Well, every week I do power play. So sometimes I've got merits on me, and dying is kind of a pain when you've got, because you'd have to redo all the merits. So sometimes I'm not as free as other times, because a lot of my ships, let's face it, are built to have fun being suicidal. My beam to lance, for example, at this stage in the fight, I would probably be dead already, and just trying to get a draw. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I didn't bring the beam to lance to this fight. Is because it's hard to fight to a percentage in the beam to lance. It's a suicide machine. And as for the Ramber, yeah, you have to stop the fight once their shields go down, otherwise one ram could kill them. But yeah, it was closer than it looks, because my shields are teetering at this point, and yeah, Evident, like I say, has way more armor than me. This thing's got such an abysmal amount of armor. It's the sort of FDL that I built my phasing Mamba to deal with, to be honest. But it was a good fight, and Evident was on about challenging me to a 1v1 in a big ship, so if that happens anytime soon, I'll probably bring you that fight as well. But that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching CMDR Evident Knight. It was a good, fun, clean fight, and yeah, unfortunately he had to go off before we could do the big ship fight, which yeah, we'll have to do another time. But that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.